हाँ, हुआ। बनाइए। 30 सेकेंड। 30 सेकेंड। हाँ हाँ, स्टार्ट। डन। बेटर। प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया लग रहा है आप लोगों ने। हाँ, नहीं मतलब मैंने बोला था कि डेली एक बार बस प्रैक्टिस करना है डेली। तो 7 दिन में 7 मैप तो प्रैक्टिस हो जाना चाहिए था। कहाँ तक हम लोग कर लिए थे लास्ट क्लास? सोसाइटी, उसकी इकोनॉमी हो गया था। सोसाइटी, हाँ, बरिल प्रैक्टिसेस, आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट। नेक्स्ट उसमें प्रैक्टिस आपको करनी है मैप में इंडिया के जो भी मेजर रिवर सिस्टम है। मेजर रिवर सिस्टम ऑफ इंडिया कहाँ कहाँ, कौन कौन सा है, ज्योग्राफी में आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा। ज्योग्राफी स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ। बेसिकली मैप में यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस गंगा, इंडस, नर्मदा, गोदावरी, ब्रह्मपुत्र, कृष्णा, कावेरी। ये 5-6 मेजर रिवर सिस्टम है। सो व्हेन यू प्रैक्टिस मैप यू आल्सो प्रैक्टिस what is the beginning and end point of these rivers, so that these maps will help you not in history section also, but it will help you in geography and the other sections also. So whenever you introduce a map in your mains class, either in paper 1 or paper 2, basically paper 1 history and geography. So if you introduce if you make these maps with rivers, if you are talking about Indus Valley civilization and is the spread of this Indus Valley civilization, because there was the first question which I discussed on the very first day about how geography plays a role in the development and growth of a country. This was last year question in UPSC. So if you plan to make a map in your mains examination, to give out the spread of Indus Valley civilization, you need to draw map as well as draw the river system of Indus and 5 major rivers. Likewise, if you are talking about South India, and if you are talking about Mid Ganga Valley, Ganga and their subsidiary Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Brahmaputra region. So you need to practice on that. So for the next 7 days, you need to practice a map as well as rivers. हो जाएगा? नहीं होगा? मेजरली जब तुम मैप बना रहे हो, कि मैं दोज मैप हाँ, ये तो नॉर्मल मैप है, एक रिवर वाला भी मैप आता है इसका। तो यू ड्रॉ लाइन with names. That will help you in at least 5 questions. Because in geography, you may be asked about the origin of a particular region, particular river, and origin of the river, and the river submerging into which sea. This kind of questions you generally would be asked in prelims also, and in mains some with some subjectivity of these questions. So you need to practice on that. Five or six major rivers with Indus. So did you see the table? Have you learnt? I gave you the table in the last class. So this is your first class. क्या स्टेटस है टेबल में? I talked about क्या हुआ? I talked about economy and society, and are you able to write on the basis of that table? Will you be able to write about the society of Indus Valley Civilization in 200 words? Only society about society of Indus Valley Civilization. लिख लेंगे, लिखिए. Society of Indus Valley Civilization. I also dictated that question. Society लिखवाया था लास्ट क्लास में मैंने. देखा नहीं आप लोगों ने? हाँ, हाँ, उससे पहले मैंने सोसाइटी कराया था क्लास में आपको. हाँ, मैंने तो आपसे ये पूछा कि आप करके आए कि नहीं घर से. अब रिपीट करने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. पॉइंट्स याद है? क्यों जरूरी है मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा हूं आपसे लिखने के लिए. सोसाइटी एंड इकोनॉमी बेस्ड ऑन द टेबल विच आई हैव गिवन यू. It's because whenever you would be asked a question about development of social customs or rituals in Indian context till contemporary time period, either in history section or in society, social issues topic questions, or in essay, you start with your argument from Indus Valley Civilization only. What are the situation of Indus Valley Civilization, so social development or society at Indus Valley Civilization, and what because the next topic is what I will be teaching you is Indus Vedic time period, and what we see during Vedic time period and later Vedic time period from 1500 BCE till 500 BCE, nearly 1000 years, there are major shift in the society. The customs, rituals, everything is changing in this particular 1000 years. So it will be easier for you to understand what are the major basic changes that are happening in the society. And why it's important to understand this society? Because in history, in the first class, I told you, we do not only read about the facts, but also the processes of the making of history. How society developed, how the elements of society like gender issues, caste issues, class issues, these developed during the ancient time period, and what are the major shift from Indus to Vedic time period, or from Vedic to later Vedic, and from ancient to medieval. What are the processes of change that we are seeing in this history time period? Written this? नहीं हुआ. There was no discrimination in that society. No, this is the last line is not correct. Based on the study of structure and architecture of cities, what we can see, there are three different types of settlements: upper, lower, and some, in one particular case, middle city. And that is clearly marked for the ruling class. The upper citadel, that is for ruling class, and the lower citadel is for the common masses. That clearly indicates towards there was some kind of not modern sense of discrimination, but also there are discrimination which are very much prevalent in the society on the basis of infrastructure that we see.
The rituals and the discrimination. So ये तो वैदिक पीरियड के बाद आया, वैदिक पीरियड में हमारे सिस्टम की उसमें जो भी हमारे जो कई वर्ण सिस्टम के बाद आया, मतलब इसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि वैदिक सिस्टम से पहले भी अपर क्लास, मिडिल क्लास, लोअर क्लास था, मतलब जो चीज तो मतलब डिस्क्रिमिनेशन वैदिक पीरियड के बाद हमारा माननीय
यही मैं आपको समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं कि जब आप सोसाइटी को बाय एंड लार्ज समझने की कोशिश करते हैं, discrimination has a very modern phenomena. How do people discriminate on the basis of class and race and caste in the modern phenomena? It might possible that these modern phenomena were not present at those time. However, their own idea of discrimination was there in the society. We only assume, based on the city structure, that there were different classes that were exist at the same time, but we do not find any such examples that there are discrimination in the society. Everyone was allowed to do trade, and we have seen examples from Indus Valley civilization. Only based on the structure of the cities, which clearly indicates about presence of different class in the society. That does not give you examples, or that does not give you a sense of discrimination that were present at that time. What we see during Vedic time period or later Vedic time period, in the text there has been written, like in Manu Samhita, they clearly wrote that Nari, Pasu, Dhol, Nari, Taran ke adhikari, is this kind of statements, and Manu Samhita's approach towards women, which clearly indicates, and also what we see examples, those lower caste who recited Vedic text, उनके कान में शीशा मेल्ट करके डालते थे. So these are the discrimination examples we are clearly getting from these texts. However, in Indus Valley civilization, we do have presence of various classes during this time period based on the development of city structure, but we do not find any discriminatory notion during this time period. So we will come to that when we will discuss later the time period. That is why I told you it's very necessary to understand and to remember for you about society, polity, and economy, religion of the Indus Valley civilization, so that you will have like a a good idea about what is being changed. So there are clearly there is a shift between Indus Valley civilization and towards Vedic and later Vedic time period from so Indus Valley IVC, the time period is from 2750 to 1750 is the mature phase, and from here Vedic period. So there is clearly a shift between. We'll see what are the shift and transition in the society, how a society is changed during Vedic time period and what was there. That is why I asked you to actually go through what you have written in the class. क्या बिल्कुल समय नहीं मिलता है घर जाके देखने के लिए? नहीं मिलता है? यूपीएससी में अगर आप घर जाके नहीं देखेंगे तो आपके पास ना मटेरियल्स इकट्ठा होते चले जाएंगे कि एक दिन का आज किया, आज नहीं किया, तो कल जब जाएंगे तो आज और कल 2 दिन का हो जाएगा, और एक दिन और डिले किए तो आपके पास 3 दिन का काम पड़ जाएगा. तो इट्स वेरी important for you to go through what you have in the class, what you have taught in the class. उसके बेसिस पे नहीं कहा गया. देखिए, हिस्ट्री में एक टर्म बोलते हैं कॉन्टेक्स्ट और एक होता है टाइम. बेसिकली मैं अगर आपसे पूछूं व्हाट इज दिस, ठीक, इस टाइम में और इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जब हम क्लासरूम में बैठे हैं तो अब 5 लोगों के हिसाब से ये कुछ और भी हो सकता है. सब लोग इसका अलग अलग डेफिनेशन देंगे. कोई पेन होगा, कोई मार्कर होगा किसी के लिए. देयर इज ए बेसिक डेफिनेशन एंड देयर इज ए बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन पेन एंड मार्कर. किसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ये पेन बन सकता है, किसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ये मार्कर बन सकता है. ठीक, वैसे ही हिस्ट्री में किसी चीज की स्टडी हम कब कर रहे हैं उसके हिसाब से, उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट के हिसाब से, और किसी पर्टिकुलर टाइम में हम क्या स्टडी कर रहे हैं, उन दोनों में डिफरेंसेस हो जाते हैं एग्जाम्पल्स में. जैसे जब पहली बार इन 1921-22 व्हेन इंडिया वाज इन अंडर कॉलोनियल रूल और वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन का एक्सकावेशन चल रहा है, तो जिन लोगों ने एक्सकावेट किया उनका अपना कॉन्टेक्स्ट, वो किस आइडियाज में पले बढ़े हैं, और चूंकि उस समय बहुत ज्यादा मात्रा में, बहुत ज्यादा इन क्वांटिटी वी फाउंड दीज छोटे छोटे मटेरियल्स हु लुक्ड लाइक अ वुमेन फिगर, और इसलिए उसको उस समय के 1930, 1940 उस समय के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इसको समझ लिया गया. चूंकि इतनी ज्यादा संख्या में मदर गॉड, मतलब ये छोटे छोटे मूर्तियां मिली हैं और उसको मदर गॉडेस का टर्म दे दिया गया. वही स्टडी अभी तक चलती आ रही है. करंट टाइम में जो हम स्टडी करते हैं, जो रिसर्च होते हैं, जो फाइंडिंग्स होते हैं इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन से, उस फाइंडिंग्स में हमें और भी दूसरे तरीके के डेवलपमेंट देखने को मिलते हैं, तो वो स्टडी चेंज हो जाता है. तो ऐसे ही इस वाले कॉन्टेक्स्ट में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन क्या है, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का मॉडर्न कॉन्टेक्स्ट हम लोग कैसे समझते हैं. तो इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन में अलग अलग क्लास है अवेलेबल दैट वी एक्सेप्ट, अलग अलग जेंडर है दैट वी एक्सेप्ट, बट व्हाट आर उनके किस मतलब क्वांटिटी क्या है डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का, किस लेवल पे है, वो हम नहीं क्लियरली इंडिकेट कर सकते हैं कि वॉज देयर अ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन ऑन द सोसाइटी और नॉट. ये वी कैन नॉट क्लियरली से, बिकॉज कोई भी हमारे पास रिटन एविडेंस उस समय के जिसको हम पढ़ सके वो नहीं है. सो वी कैन नॉट क्लियरली से व्हाट आर द क्राइटेरियाज ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन इन द सोसाइटी. तो ये कहना, वो मदर गॉडेसेस कह सकते हैं आप, मैट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी कह सकते हैं, बस किसी तरीके का डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है ये वी कैन नॉट फॉर्मली से कि was there any discrimination in the society or not. वैदिक टाइम पीरियड में जब जाएंगे तो क्लियरली वी हैव एग्जांपल्स to convey and to write about that कि there were discrimination in the society. But Indus Valley time period में we do not have any such example. So we'll go through again art and craft. However, इस topic पे when we will study art and craft, art and architecture also in the art and architecture section will come again on this topic. अभी फिलहाल के लिए आप बेसिक आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट जो इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन में हमें देखने को मिलते हैं वो लिख लीजिए. In the art and craft section, first write about seals. Around 2500 seals have been unearthed from Indus site. Around 2500 seals have been unearthed from Indus site. These are generally rectangular or square shaped. These are generally rectangular or square shaped. The square seals have the script along with animal figures. The square seals have the script along with animal figures, whereas the rectangular seals carry scripts only. Most of the seals are made of terracotta. टेराकोटा आप लोग समझते हैं ना क्या होता है? टेराकोटा, व्हाट इज टेराकोटा? हाँ, पकी हुई मिट्टी, नॉट एग्जैक्टली, बट हाँ, सिमिलर टू दैट. गेरू समझते हैं आप लोग? गेरू एक पेंट की दुकान पे रेड ब्राउन कलर का पाउडर होता है जिसको पानी में घोल के दीवार पे पेंट करते हैं. हैव यू सीन दोस? गेरू जिसको बोलते हैं, नहीं देखा आप लोगों ने? इस दिवाली में देख लीजिएगा, जहां भी रेड कलर का पेंट आप देखेंगे वो रेड कैसे बोल दूं, किस तरीके का रेड? हाँ, मिट्टी जैसा एक कलर होता है, उसको टेराकोटा बोलते हैं. उसको वो एक अलग तरीके की मिट्टी होती है, उसको फिर पका के फायर करते हैं, उसके बाद उससे बनाते हैं. तो टेराकोटा बेसिकली इस तरीके से. मोस्ट ऑफ द सील्स आर मेड ऑफ टेराकोटा. हाउएवर some of the seals were made of ivory also. The seals had two purposes. Number one, probably it was used by the traders. To identify their goods. Or second, probably they were used as coins. Probably they were used as coins. However, this coin argument has not been accepted widely. The figures of unicorn buffalo, tiger, goat, and elephant were depicted on them. The largest number of seals represent unicorn. Among the represented animals, on the seals, Indian elephants, bulls, rhinoceros, and tigers are important. Now, कुछ basic data है that I want you not to write in the words, but to make a kind of table, so that it will be easier for, or leave it to me. I will give you the table. Second point is beads. After seals, you make point beads. The Hadappans used, फैन ऑन कर दूं क्या? स्विच ऑफ द फैन. The Hadappans used beads of precious and semi-precious stones. The Hadappans used beads of precious and semi-precious stone like redstone, steatite, chert, C-H-E-R-T, chert. The beads making factories have been discovered from Chunhaduro and Lothal. The beads making factories have been discovered from Chunhodro and Lothal. Also, beads of gold and silver have been unearthed. Beads of gold and silver have been unearthed from Mohenjo-daro. Next is terracotta figurines. These were probably used, terracotta figurines. These were probably used as toys or votive objects, votive, V-O-T-I-V-E, votive objects. It depicted the figures of animals, birds, men and women. It depicted the figures of animal, birds, men and women. These were made of baked clay. These were made of baked clay. Carts, C-A-R-T-S, carts made of terracotta have been excavated. Or terracotta figurines from Mohenjo-daro. Terracotta figurines from Mohenjo-daro suggests the evidence of horse. Suggests the evidence of horse. What does that mean? A terracotta figurine from Mohenjo-daro suggests the evidence of horse. What does that mean? Evidence of horse from Mohenjo-daro. हाँ नहीं, एवरीडे लाइफ्स के लिए ना फिर इसके बहुत सारे रेफरेंसेस हमें मिलने चाहिए थी. वॉट एवर यू कॉल them as, like we have terracotta figurines of toys, so that might be possible for the use in everyday life as to playing instrument kind of thing, but we have only reference of horse from Mohenjo-daro. It means it came by a trade, and in the last class we talked about what are the external and internal trades. So one particular example of horse we have got from Mohenjo-daro, none other than else. It signifies two things. Number one, the references of horse which we get during Vedic and later Vedic time period in our text. That is obviously a later addition, and horse is not a native Indian thing. It came, yes. It came from outside, and in the last class we have talked about trade. वो याद किया था थोड़ा external वाला trade? ठीक है. The human terracotta figurines. Next point, the human terracotta figurines are solid, whereas the animal figures, the human terracotta figurines are solid in nature, whereas the animal figures are hollow. Among the water animals, figures of crocodile. Among the water animal, figures of crocodile, fishes, tortoise have been unearthed from Harappa. Although, not although, just to make you remember, we do not have any reference or any figures of cow during this time period. So either you remember or you write. Cows was not represented either on terracotta figures or on seals. Cows was not represented. That is why I asked you to write an essay. How many have you written on cow? You have written? आप लोगों में से? नो, लिखा था आपने? लाए हैं? लिखिए थोड़ा, मैं देखना चाहता हूं आप क्या करते हैं. Until unless you start writing, once you clear your prelims, How many days are left once you get your prelims result for the mains? Like in how many days are in between mains and prelims? Exactly 90 days. जिस दिन आपका प्रीलिम्स का रिजल्ट आएगा और जिस दिन मेंस का पहला कोई एग्जाम होगा उसके बीच में ठीक 90 डेज का गैप होगा. और अगर आप ये पहले से सोच के चल रहे हैं कि उसी 90 दिन में मैं लिख के प्रैक्टिस कर लूंगा, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प. You better start writing at least a question every day. One question, 250 words every day, and you will evolve your handwriting as well as your way of writing will improve once you reach towards writing mains. And mains में भी पेपर 1, 2, 3, 4 तो आसान है. आप फंसेंगे essay में. Essays basically is representation of what you think, what you are. ऐसे में आप कितना भी डाटा पढ़ के जाइए, कोई भी फैक्ट्स याद करके जाइए, वो आपको तभी हेल्प करेगा once you know how to correlate those ideas. If you are writing an essay on any subject, you will have to bring history, political science, geography, economics, science and tech. Every subject in the UPSC syllabus, you will have to bring those facts and ideas from these subjects into your essay topic. और वो तब तक आप नहीं लिख पाएंगे जब तक यू प्रैक्टिस. और ऐसे की प्रैक्टिस आप ऐसे की क्लास लेंगे कहीं भी किसी भी यूपीएससी के कोचिंग में, 5 क्लास में आपको कोई भी टॉनिक देके ऐसे नहीं लिखवा सकता है. ये लेके चलिए. दैट इज व्हाई आई आस्क्ड यू टू राइट एन एसे ऑन काउ. If you write, then I will give you another topic. Okay, last class also I told you to write an essay on Gandhi. कुछ लिखे हैं उस पे, कुछ सर्च किया. Have you searched anything? क्या मिला? Basic history you got. उसके अलावा have you found his idea on economy, society, gender issues? Have you found out? कुछ स्टेटमेंट आपने कॉपी किया वहां से? कुछ कोई भी एक स्टेटमेंट, गांधी का स्टेटमेंट या सोसाइटी के बारे में वो क्या कह रहे हैं, इन्वायरमेंट के बारे में क्या कह रहे हैं, that statement will help you in every paper or including your essay or in ethics. क्या होता है, किसी भी आंसर को लिखते आप हैं और किसी ऐसे बड़े आदमी का कोट जब लिखते हैं ना, उस कोट में ही आप बहुत कुछ कह देते हैं एंड उस तरीके से आपका आंसर आपके बाकी कोलिग्स के आंसर से थोड़ा डिफरेंट होता है. स्टार्ट राइटिंग इफ यू आर सीरियस अबाउट क्लियरिंग योर यूपीएससी. मैं नेक्स्ट क्लास में टुमारो आई विल गिव यू सम क्वेश्चंस, 7 क्वेश्चंस फॉर नेक्स्ट 7 days. स्टार्ट राइटिंग. आप कोई बात नहीं, आपको नहीं आ रहा है, आप गूगल से सर्च करके, बट डू नॉट कॉपी पेस्ट, क्योंकि इन वन ऑफ द अदर क्लासेस आई हैव गिवन आल्सो सम क्वेश्चंस एंड सम पीपल हैव कॉपीड. दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प यू आल्सो. आप फैक्ट लीजिए वहां से, बट यू राइट इट इन योर ओन वर्ड्स. दैट इज द ओनली वे वेयर यू कैन लर्न हाउ टू राइट एन आंसर. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, although cow वाला पॉइंट लिख लिया. although cow was not represented either on terracotta figures nor on seals, women have been represented more widely. Women have been represented more widely. Women have been represented more widely on terracotta figures than men. Metalworks, next sub point, metalworks. Now if you see, same kind of facts we are using to discuss every topic of Indus Valley civilization. Same facts we are using while we talk about art and craft. These facts are also used in society, depicting society. These facts are also used in while you talk about religion of the Indus Valley civilization. So same kind of examples we have learned from these 3 or 4 classes that are being used. So you must remember these facts from where you have got which item, so that you use those answers, those facts to write, to accommodate or to write or to interpret your answers either on society or economy or on art and craft. So far, right, in the metalworks, so far, the metalworks have been unearthed from Mohenjo-daro, Chanhudaro, Lothal and Kalibanga. Chanhudaro, Lothal and Kalibanga. A bronze statue of nude dancing girl. A bronze statue of nude dancing girl wearing a necklace. Has come to light at Mohenjo-daro and Chanhudaro. A bronze statue of nude dancing girl wearing a necklace has come to light at Mohenjo-daro, has come to light at Mohenjo-daro and Chanhudaro. Bronze carts have been excavated from Chanhudaro and Harappa. Bronze carts have been excavated from Chanhudaro and Harappa. Oxen made of copper. Oxen made of copper. Oxen, O-X-E-N. Oxen made of copper have been traced out. Oxen made of copper have been traced out from Lothal and Kalibanga. दो बैल का जोड़ा, oxen made of copper have been traced out from Lothal and Kalibanga. Last point, the number of objects of art is limited. The number of objects of art is limited. There is no diversity in expression. There is no diversity in expression as we find in the case of Mesopotamia and Egyptian art. So this last point is the limitation of art. What we have found in the case of Mesopotamia and Egyptian art, there are so many varieties and the expressions are different, whereas in the case of Indus art, all the artifacts which we have got from every site, there is no difference in the expression. It's a similar expression we have got from each and every site. That is why majorly limitations of Indus art. Write about religion, a very short point. Religion, number 1, no evidence of temples. No evidence of temples have been discovered from any Indus site. Worship of goddess. A point, worship of goddesses. Worship of goddesses. The mother goddesses was worshipped. The mother goddesses was worshipped in both the benevolent, Benevolent, the mother goddesses was worshipped in both the benevolent as well as furious form. Benevolent as well as furious, Furious, means मदर गॉडेसेस शांत और गुस्से दोनों तरीके के फॉर्म्स के एग्जांपल्स हमें देखने को मिलते हैं. सो इफ यू राइट अबाउट दैट, द इमेज ऑफ बेनोवलेंट मदर गॉडेसेस, द इमेज ऑफ बेनोवलेंट मदर गॉडेसेस are traced from Kuli, Kulli, is a place name, Kuli in Baluchistan. Kuli in Baluchistan. But the statues found from Job culture, Job. But the statues found from Job culture at Baluchistan represents a mother goddess in furious form. Represents a mother goddess in furious form. The terracotta figurines depicts the pregnant women. The terracotta figurine which depicts the pregnant women can be presumed as offering to deities for blessing of son. The terracotta figurine which depicts the pregnant women can be presumed as offering to deities for blessing of a son. A statue from Mohenjo-daro, a statue from Mohenjo-daro depicts a goddess with a bird sitting on her head, with a bird sitting on her head, with open wings. Worship of Shiva, next sub theme. Worship of Shiva. A seal from Mohenjo-daro. A seal from Mohenjo-daro depicts a person, yogi picture, yogi posture. Have you seen this seal? Pashupati seal? It's so called Pashupati seal. Have you seen this? Okay. It has 3 faces and 2 horns. It has 3 faces and 2 horns. To his left, a tiger and an elephant. To his left, a tiger and an elephant. And to his right, a buffalo and a rhino. If I ask you about the religion of Indus Valley civilization, so writing and religion also comes under the section of society. So whenever you would ask a question right on society, you would also incorporate the religious aspect, and in those religious aspect you would write about worship of Shiva and the terracotta figurines mother goddesses, and also about the great bath. So you write just 2 lines. The great bath, which has been excavated from Mohenjo-daro. The great bath, which has been excavated from Mohenjo-daro, had ritualistic importance. Even during preceding period, water was worshipped in Sindh region. Based on these arguments, and we will again come when we'll discuss art and culture in the next section. One important topic about the decline of Indus Valley civilization. So the next topic, right, decline of Indus civilization. And you understand, decline does not mean the civilization ended, but it means the nature of the civilization has changed. It means, that is why when I told you about the timeline of Indian history, the mature phase was from 2750 till 1750, and when we talk about Vedic period, we talk from 1500 BCE till 500 BCE. What happened these 250 years? So the decline means the nature of Indus Valley civilization changed. It means the urban nature. Whenever we talk about Indus Valley civilization or urbanization, so Indus Valley civilization gives first very reference of urbanization in our Indian context or in Indian civilization. So we have 3 urbanization. One is Indus Valley civilization, other is Mahajanapadas Kal, where there are urbanism is the second urbanization, and the third urbanization we come across during the medieval time period. So the nature of Indus Valley civilization from urban to rural. So here at this 250 years, there are various small settlements happened in the mid Ganga Valley region or in the Sindh region. So these major chunks, major settlements have declined, and they migrated and settled in various different parts, but they did not continue their urban nature. So decline of Indus Valley civilization is very much that there is a change and continuity. What we see change in the very basic nature of any civilizations. So we'll discuss about this theory, and there are some historical understanding. I asked you to write about, to search about Gordon Child's definition of urbanism. Have you found out? कुछ नहीं करते हैं यहाँ से बोलने के बाद, टाइम बिल्कुल नहीं मिलता है. वो आपको मदद करेगा. मैं ये ऐसे इसलिए नहीं कह रहा हूं कि ये सब इधर जाएगा. कहीं भी आप अर्बनिज्म के बारे में बात कर रहे होंगे, गॉर्डन चाइल्ड आएगा ही आएगा. बिना गॉर्डन चाइल्ड के 5 बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर, 10 बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर और फीचर्स ऑफ एनी अर्बन सिविलाइजेशन, हम किसी भी अर्बनिज्म के बारे में बात नहीं कर सकते हैं. तो अर्बनिज्म का बेसिक फीचर्स में आएगा बिल्डिंग्स, पॉपुलेशन, रूलिंग क्लास. तो ये आपको एक साइड में नोट करके सर्च करने के लिए मैं बोल रहा हूं. जिस दिन आप पूरी तरीके से हाथ जोड़ देंगे, हम नहीं सर्च कर सकते, मैं लिखवाऊंगा, बट फिलहाल आप सर्च कर लीजिए एक बार गूगल सर्च करने में, यूल फील थोड़ा और एक्स्ट्रा कुछ पढ़ेंगे. सो राइट, here decline means the decline of urban phase, but not the decline of civilization. The trend of decline is evident. Here decline means the decline of urban phase, but not the decline of civilization. Here decline means the decline of urban phase, but not the decline of civilization. The trend of decline is evident in the town planning. The trend of decline is evident in the town planning. For example, the courtyards of houses, for example, the courtyard of houses were partitioned by construction of thin dividing walls. The courtyards of houses were partitioned by construction of, थक गए? ये लास्ट टॉपिक है. इसके बाद मैं आपको 2 मिनट का ब्रेक दूंगा. कैसे हम लोग डिक्लाइन को मेजर करते हैं, बेसिकली उसको समझ रहे हैं. सिविलाइजेशन डिक्लाइन नहीं कर रहा है, लोग शिफ्ट कर रहे हैं एक जगह से दूसरे जगह. जब सिविलाइजेशन अपने पीक पे होती है और प्योर फॉर्म में होती है, तो जैसे आपने सेंट्रल विस्टा रीजन पे जो देखा, नए तरीके से जो डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, विस्टा रीजन को फिर से बनाया जा रहा है. तो पहले का जो सेटलमेंट है, पहले की जो बिल्डिंग्स है, उसको पूरी तरीके से तोड़ के उसको हटाया जा रहा है और उसके बाद उस पर नया स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट किया जा रहा है. इट मीन्स, इट सेज और इट शोज ऑल्सो कि देयर आर प्रोस्पेरिटी. पैसा है तभी तो कर पा रहे हैं. अगर पैसा नहीं होता, गरीब होते, तो या तो उसी को चलने देते और नहीं तो उसी के ऊपर एक और स्ट्रक्चर हम खड़े कर देते. तो अर्बन इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम क्या देख रहे हैं कि जब मैच्योर फेज, इन द मैच्योर फेज वी हैव सर्टेन पर्टिकुलर काइंड ऑफ अर्बनिज्म इज देयर. घर हैं लोगों के, these houses are very much you have seen the structure of these houses. There are courtyard, there are upper floor, lower floor. These बीच में आंगन है, kitchen area, gallery area is there. In each and every houses, what you see, there are some basic features that has been followed up in across Indus Valley civilization. However, जब हम देख रहे हैं and we just come we will talk about how it declined. So when once the trade declined, these societies are also in the direction of declining. So उस समय क्या हुआ कि सबसे पहला असर जो हमें दिख रहा है वो घरों के ऊपर दिख रहा है. तो घर एक्चुअली बेसिकली अब टूटने शुरू हुए, तो नया नहीं बन रहा है, नए तरीके से बस उसको खींच रहे हैं. तो इस तरीके का डिक्लाइनिंग फीचर्स हमें इस पूरे टाइम फ्रेम में देखने को मिल रहा है. तो जो सबसे बेसिक फीचर था हमें देखने के लिए कोर्टयार्ड्स घर के, वो कोर्टयार्ड अब टूट रहे हैं तो बना नहीं रहे हैं, बस उसको पार्टीशन कर दिया. तो इस तरीके के हमें दूसरे एग्जाम्पल्स भी देखने को मिल रहे हैं. So for example, the courtyards of houses were partitioned by constructions of thin dividing walls. The cities were rapidly growing. The cities were rapidly growing. The cities were rapidly growing into a congested settlements. The cities were rapidly growing into a congested settlement. In the Hakhara River basin, in the Hakhara River basin, पुरानी दिल्ली कभी गए हैं आप लोग? हवेलीज देखे हैं? और अभी पुरानी दिल्ली का जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो आप देख रहे हैं कि जितना ज्यादा कंजेस्टेड है. क्या जब सिर्फ हवेली थे तब भी उतना ही कंजेस्टेड रहा होगा? तो क्या हुआ मिडिवल टाइम पीरियड में, ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ शाहजहां, जब पूरा शाहजहानाबाद बसाया जा रहा है, तो एक पर्टिकुलर जगह जहां पे किंग रहेगा, दैट इज रेड फोर्ट, फिर सामने मार्केट एरिया, फिर जो एलिट्स हैं सोसाइटी के उनको कुछ जगह दिया गया जिसमें उन्होंने हवेलीज बनाए और इस तरीके का उनका पूरा सेटलमेंट हुआ. मस्जिद है, एवरीथिंग. आप उसको एकदम इंडस के टाइप में ही समझने की कोशिश कीजिए. उसी तरीके का स्ट्रक्चर है, सिटाडेल और पूरा चारों तरफ से घिरा हुआ. अब क्या हुआ, मुगल एम्पायर डिक्लाइन हुआ, पॉपुलेशन बढ़ा और एकदम जब व्हेन वी आर कॉलोनियल रूल उस समय कंजस्टेड, फिर उसके बाद उतने ही स्पेस में कंजस्टेड डेवलपमेंट शुरू हुए जो कि हमें अभी तक देखने को मिलते हैं. तो जो हवेलीज का एरिया है उसी को डिवाइड करके उसके कोर्टयार्ड में कुछ शॉप्स बना के वैल्यूज इस तरीके से बढ़े. तो हम लोग इंडस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में डिक्लाइन को समझते हैं, यहां अभी उस तरीके से, लेकिन जो बेसिक नेचर था, जितना खुला था, ओपननेस था, जितना स्पेस था, दैट डिक्लाइंड. और एक ही स्पेस में हम देख रहे हैं कि बहुत सारे मल्टी हाउसेस सिस्टम हमें देखने को मिलता है कि उसी एरिया में डेवलप हुआ. तो कंजस्टेड जो हमें देखने को मिलता है, तो इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन में भी कंजस्टेड सेटलमेंट्स डेवलप्ड. सो द सिटीज वेर रैपिडली ग्रोइंग इनटू अ कंजस्टेड सेटलमेंट्स in Hakhara River basin. While there was a decline in the number of settlements. There was a decline in the number of settlements in the triangle made by Harappa, Bahawalpur and Mohenjo-daro. Harappa, Bahawalpur and Mohenjo-daro. I'll just repeat. While there was a decline in the number of settlements in the triangle made by Harappa, Bahawalpur, 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 Bahawalpur and Mohenjo-daro region, there was an increase in the number of settlements. There was an increase in the number of settlements in Gujarat, Eastern Punjab, Haryana, there was an increase in the number of settlements in Gujarat, eastern Punjab, Haryana and upper Gangetic basin. So देख रहे हैं आप इस टाइम पीरियड पे आके 1800 टाइम पीरियड में 1750s में जो मेजर सेंटर हैं इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन के, हड़प्पा एंड मोहनजोदड़ो, उस रीजन में जो सिटीज हैं और नंबर ऑफ सेटलमेंट्स हैं दैट डिक्लाइंड. बट एट द सेम टाइम मैंने ये बताया आपको पहली लाइन में, सिविलाइजेशन डिक्लाइन नहीं कर रहा है. इट मींस पीपल मूव्ड, पीपल माइग्रेटेड एंड सेटल्ड एट सम डिफरेंट प्लेसेस. एक जगह का अगर आप देखते हैं कि अभी के टाइम पीरियड में मैं कौन सा एग्जांपल दूं आपको. if you see there are some places in the world where what sea water level is increasing, और कुछ ऐसे एरिया हैं जो अब इनहैबिटेशन के लिए इट्स नॉट वेरी मच अलाउड, और वहां पे अब हैबिटेशन नहीं हो सकता है. देन पीपल जनरली मूव टूवर्ड्स अदर प्लेसेस वेयर दे कैन इजिली स्टे. तो इस टाइम पीरियड में, सो देयर आर इन द डिक्लाइन थ्योरी यू गेट that in this time period there are floods, trade is declining, floods are there, so everything, so people started migrating from those places and started settling in the other places. So what we see during this time period, the number of settlements that I showed you in the very first map. Let me show you if I still have that PPT. Okay, I don't have. So what we see, I don't have. I will look into the other map and I will show you. So इस टाइम पीरियड में जो इंडस वाला रीजन है हड़प्पा और मोहनजोदड़ो का, वहां से सेटलमेंट मूव्ड टुवर्ड्स गुजरात, हरियाणा एंड अपर गैंगेटिक वैली, एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी कम अक्रॉस द सोसाइटी दैट डेवलप्ड ड्यूरिंग वैदिक एंड लेटर वैदिक टाइम पीरियड इन द मिड गंगा वैली. So you have written this. There was increase in the settlements in Gujarat, eastern Punjab, Haryana and upper Gangetic basin. The decline of cities in the Indus Valley civilization. The decline of cities in the Indus Valley civilization occurred around 1800 BCE. Change the paragraph. Next. There is a divisionary debate among the historians regarding decline of Indus Valley civilization. Now, write point number 1. ये एक हिस्टोरियन है, पेयर सर्विस. इनका मेजरली आर्गुमेंट है that there was an ecological imbalance. तो ये पॉइंट लिख लीजिए, इकोलॉजिकल इम्बैलेंस इनका पूरा आर्गुमेंट इकोलॉजी के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है. सो ही हैज ट्राइड टू आर्ग्यू about how ecology of this entire region had changed. Earlier it was arid region, thoda garmi kam tha, but nowadays it started in 1000 years. It started becoming very warm. So people started moving out from those regions. So number 2, drying of river Ghaggar, DRYING, drying of river Ghaggar, and expansion of desertion, DESERTATION, desertation, drying of river Ghaggar and expansion of desertation. ये जो ये वाला आर्गुमेंट जिसने दिया है डीपी अग्रवाल एंड अमलानंद घोष, डीपी अग्रवाल एंड अमलानंद घोष. Majorly, he argued that how river Ghaggar has dried up, and जो इस तरफ का रीजन है, राजस्थान का रीजन, उधर से जो रेगिस्तान का रीजन है, that started expanding towards Sindh region. So that is why people. So majorly, all these arguments are based on the change in ecological things. Number 3, change in the course of river. Change in the course of river, and that has been given by Madhav Swarup Vats. Madhav Swarup Vats. Change in the course of river, that is given by Madhav Swarup Vats. Number 4, flood. This view has been propounded by Dales, DALES. This view has been propounded by Dales. थक गए? This is the last point. This view has been propounded by Dales. Evidence of flood has been presented by John Marshall at Mohenjo-daro. Chanhudro was destroyed by flood. Chanhudro was destroyed by floods. Lothal witnessed two massive floods. Lothal witnessed two massive floods. A study of Mohenjo-daro and Amri. A study of Mohenjo-daro and Amri shows that a unique water submergence took place at Mohenjo-daro. Some sites give the evidence of waterlogging. Now, there is one particular, so till now, till point 5, we have all examples which are dealing with the decline of industrial civilization is because of ecological change, that is flood, waterlogging. एक example है just, and one historian which talk about there is an external invasion during this time period. और वो external invasion Aryans के बारे में बताते हैं. Aryans, who are the people who came and they looted and plundered these sites. So one example say, however, we do not have sufficient data because at very one place, at Mohenjo-daro only, we have skulls of women, child, and men. However, we do not come across any such example from any other sites. So कुछ इस तरीके का, but majorly the decline of industrial civilization is dependent on the ecological changes, the environment that are being changed. That is why people forced to move or migrate and settle in the other region. So write this point. External invasion external invasion. Some historians claimed that Aryans' invasion was the possible reason behind the decline of Indus Valley civilization. Some historians claimed that Aryan invasion was the possible reason behind the decline of Indus Valley civilization. They have used skeletons of children, women, and men. They have used skeletons of children, women, and men that have been unearthed from Mohenjo-daro. However, due to the lack of evidence from any other site, due to the lack of such evidence from any other site, this theory was rejected. In the conclusion, we can say, no single cause can be attributed. No single cause can be attributed to the decline of Indus Valley civilization. For the decline of different sites, different causes were responsible. It means the cities which were at the banks of Ghaggar river, that those cities might have declined due to the drying of Ghaggar river. However, the cities which are at the banks of any other region, like Lothal is on the bank of a sea, so that have come across, that has witnessed floods, and some regions have dried up, there are waterlogging problems in these regions. So for different cities, we have different causes for the decline, which is also true in a sense that not every city declined at the same time, but different cities declined at different time period, and people migrated and settled in a batch system. Like some people migrated at some point of time, some people migrated at some point of time. So majorly, the idea behind the decline of industrial civilization is there are different regions for different declines. So we'll have 5 or 6 minute break, then we'll start the next topic. जाइए, आप लोगों को नींद आ रही थी ना, थक गए हिस्ट्री पढ़ के। थोड़ा बोरिंग है, बट दैट इज द लिमिटेशन ऑफ थिंग्स. आई ट्राई टू मेक इट वेरी मच लाइवली. कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो, किसी तरीके का कंफ्यूजन हो तो आप बताइए मुझे. मॉर्टिमर व्हीलर, आरएन इन्वेजन का मॉर्टिमर व्हीलर, स्पेलिंग लिखना है. मॉर्टिमर व्हीलर, हम लोग नेक्स्ट अभी आ रहे हैं उस पर. हाँ हाँ, हम लोग आर्य जो कहते हैं वही आर्यंस वहीं से आए हैं. मॉर्टिमर व्हीलर, MORTIMER, मॉर्टिमर व्हीलर, WHEELER. मॉर्टिमर व्हीलर ने दिया था. देखिए, एक बहुत ही थोड़ा सा टफ टॉपिक है. उसको कराने से पहले आई वुड आस्क यू टू रीड समथिंग. वो पढ़ के आएंगे, देन आई विल टेक ए क्लास, किसी फ्री दिन, ऐसे भागते भागते नहीं. एंड दैट इज ऑन, ये जो आपने आर्यन का सवाल हम लोग जो पढ़ते हैं, आर्यंस, हु वेयर द आर्यंस, इसी से जुड़ा हुआ एक बहुत कंटेम्प्रेरी क्वेश्चन है, दैट इज इंडो यूरोपियन लैंग्वेजेस और इंडो आर्यन लैंग्वेजेस. तो हाउ डिड दिस लैंग्वेजेस हैज बीन डेवलप्ड, उनका पूरा ब्रांच क्या है, वो पूरा ट्री क्या है कि कैसे कैसे कौन सा लैंग्वेज डेवलप हुआ है. आर्यन थ्योरी क्या है, हु आर द आर्यंस, कैसे वो माइग्रेट करके आ रहे हैं. ये इट नीड्स अ सेपरेट क्लास, 2.5 आवर क्लास. जिस दिन आप फ्री रहेंगे, दिमाग शांत रहेगा, किसी दिन संडे के दिन हम लोग ये क्लास ले सकते हैं, जिसमें हम लोग इसको डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे. तभी आपको चीज समझ में आएगा. मैं प्लान आउट करता हूं किसी एक संडे को या किसी एक दिन जिस दिन आप लोगों का कॉलेज ना रहे, पढ़ के आप लोग आएंगे, उसके बाद ही मैं पढ़ा पाऊंगा, तभी मजा आएगा. जनरली इसको समझना चाहिए कि हाउ डिड संस्कृत एंड अदर इंडो यूरोपियन लैंग्वेजेस, इंडो आर्यन लैंग्वेजेस, संस्कृत एंड इंग्लिश एंड अदर लैंग्वेजेस, हाउ डिड दे डेवलप्ड, उनका पूरा माइग्रेशन, सेटलमेंट, किस रीजन से वो कैसे आ रहे हैं, वो पूरा एक क्लास में समझने की जरूरत है. दैट वी विल डू. उसमें मॉडर्न वो अभी मैं इसलिए नहीं करा रहा हूं कि अभी आप लोग सो जाएंगे, फिर कोई फायदा नहीं है मेरे इतने बोलने का. ये जो बीच का टाइम पीरियड है, व्हेन इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन बेसिकली नॉट डिक्लाइंड बट चेंज दिस नेचर, पूरा सिविलाइजेशन का नेचर चेंज हो गया. एंड देन वैदिक कल्चर डेवलप्ड इन बिटवीन दोज टाइम पीरियड. एक छोटा टॉपिक है, दैट इज वी कॉल चाल्कोलिथिक कल्चर. सो राइट, चाल्कोलिथिक cultures from 1800 BCE to 1500 BCE. ये 300 years का जो टाइम पीरियड है, इनके बीच में इट डेवलप्ड चाल्कोलिथिक कल्चर. और यही हुआ. सो द पीपल हु migrated from Indus Valley Civilization sites regions, and they settled and they developed another settlement that we call Chalcolithic culture. It is derived from the word chalco, means copper, and lithic means stone. The Chalcolithic culture signifies, लिख लीजिए, it is derived from the word chalco, which means copper. It is derived from the word chalco, which means copper, and lith means stone. The Chalcolithic culture signifies uses of copper and stone tools simultaneously. The Chalcolithic culture signifies uses of copper and stone tools simultaneously. though this practice simultaneously, though this practice began in the Neolithic phase, though this practice began in the Neolithic phase, but only its dominant phase was between 1800 to 1500 BCE. In between 1800 1500 BCE, next, in between 1800 to 1500 BCE, the livelihood of Chalcolithic people was dependent on agriculture. Chalcolithic people was dependent on agriculture, animal husbandry, fishing, etc. They also produced some textile and metal crafts, One of the very important development in this phase was uniform practice of dead burials, dead burials, dead, D-E-A-D, dead burials, and moreover, they also followed north-south direction while burying their dead at majority of the places. They also followed north-south direction while burying their dead at majority of the places. So what have you noticed here? One change that you can clearly see, and what is that of burial practices? In the Indus Valley civilization sites, we have seen three kinds of burial practices that were there. What are there? What are those? हाँ, हाउसेस के नीचे, लेकिन किस तरीके के प्रैक्टिसेस थे? कंप्लीट बरियल, पार्शियल बरियल, ठीक है। तीन तरीके के बरियल प्रैक्टिसेस हमें देखने को मिलते हैं। एक, कॉफिन्स में जो प्रैक्टिसेस कर रहे हैं कॉफिन के अंदर। दूसरा, हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि डेड को ओपन में छोड़ना, फिर जब बर्ड्स और ये उसको कंज्यूम कर ले तो उसके बाद जो रिमेन्स हैं उसको पॉट्स में रख के रखना। और तीसरा, पूरा फुल बरियल, जिसमें हम किसी कॉफिन में नहीं रख रहे हैं, मिट्टी में उसको दबा रहे हैं। तो ये तीन तरीके के बरियल प्रैक्टिसेस, एंड बरियल्स आर the most basic feature to discuss about any society. how a society has been developed. If you want to measure any development or change in any society, you see their burial practices, what they are being practiced. If that society is not civilized, you can clearly make out their burial practices are different from a society which has been developed. Like in our society, you see a uniform mode of burial practices that has been practiced across India. You see there are the similarity. So what we see, there is a change from Indus Valley civilization till this time period. Now we have a particular direction, north and south, where burial practices are being practiced. So this is particular one difference. So once when I ask you, or whenever you keep this point in your mind, whenever you ask to write about changes in the society, you can point out this kind of changes that are happening from Indus Valley civilization to Chalcolithic period or in the later period that we come across. There are change in the methods of burial practices in this time period. Copper was most widely used metal in this stage. Copper was the most widely used metal. Copper was the most widely used metal in this phase. Copper was the most widely used metal in this phase, which was obtained from Ahar, AHAR. This is a region. Ahar, Gilund, Gilund, Khetri, 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 and Jhunjhunu mines of Rajasthan. Jhun. So majorly Rajasthan mines of copper, that is Ahar, Gilund, Khetri and Jhunjhun. These are the major suppliers of copper to this civilization. So there are, whenever you see the map, there are 4 basic pockets in which these settlements that developed. So write important pockets of Chalcolithic cultures, in which areas these settlements has been developed. So there are 4 important sites. Number 1, Ahar Banas, Ahar Banas. Ahar Banas, that is in Rajasthan region. So one particular Chalcolithic culture developed in this particular region. Number 2 is Kayad in MP. Number 3 is Malwa, MP and Gujarat. Kayatha. This is the Kayatha region, the second word which you have written, Kayatha in Madhya Pradesh, Kayatha. Kayatha in Madhya Pradesh, Malwa in Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat region. Swalda, Swalda, Swalda and Jarwa, Jarva. Jorwe. Swalda and Jorwe in Maharashtra. So these are the 4 major pockets in which Chalcolithic culture has been developed from 1800 to 1500 BCE, Is this clear from here? Okay. Now, write about this next topic. Advent of Aryans. Advent of Aryans. नेक्स्ट सब टॉपिक है एडवेंट ऑफ आर्यंस. राइट, आर्यंस स्टार्टेड टू अराइव in Indian subcontinent by 1500 BCE. By 1500 BCE from Central Asia or steppes grassland. Central Asia is also called steppes grassland. They were nomadics and pastoralists. They were nomadic and pastoralist. Cattle was their most important wealth. Huh? Okay. Aryans started to arrive in Indian subcontinent by 1500 BCE from Central Asia or steppes grassland. They were nomadic, nomadic, nomadic and pastoralist, pastoralist, pastoralist. They were nomadics and pastoralists. Cattle was their most important wealth. Cattle was their most important wealth. That is why they were always in search of good fertile land. That is why they were always in search of good pasture land. The term Aryan stands for linguistic community. The term Aryan stands for linguistic community who spoke Aryan group of languages. Aryans were able to defeat indigenous population of India. Indigenous population of India by their uses of superior bronze tools, Moreover, they were using horses. And horse-driven chariots. Moreover, they were using horses and horse-driven chariots, which provided strength to their army. Initially, Aryans were concentrated. Initially, Aryans were concentrated in northwestern part of Indian subcontinent. In northwestern part of Indian subcontinent, which includes Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Western UP and Northern Rajasthan. Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Western UP and Northern Rajasthan. Aryans after acquiring Indian subcontinent started to compose Vedas in Sanskrit language. यहां स्टॉप है. बेसिकली मैंने ये शॉर्ट में आपको इसलिए लिखवाया आर्यन का कि आप लोग बेसिक समझ जाइए कि किस तरीके से आर्यन का एडवेंट है. आर्यंस दे वेयर नोमैड्स and they were totally dependent on pastoral land. So the homeland was steppes, grassland in Central Asia. When this is the time period when there are some ecological changes that is happening, and they were these people were always in search of new grasslands. So they started moving their hordes in batches. So what there this is when I will give a extra class on who are the Aryans and what are the basic nature of Indo-European or Indo-Aryan languages. That is very much necessary to understand. What we see is that these people they moved and migrated in batches. They not moved their whole herds in one particular go. So they came Indian subcontinent in batches, and they settled in this northwestern part, Kashmir region, western Rajasthan. So once the DNA testing was done a few years back, this region we have the same DNA linkages what we see in northwestern region. So that is why if you see the physique of these people, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, they are huge, 6 feet, 7 feet tall. So that is the physical description that we get. So they came and settled during this time period. However, we do not come across any major, and there are debates that once they came, they found any resistance or not. So they came here and they settled over here, and then they started writing and composing Vedic literature, and from here we come into the period of Vedic time period, where as a source base we have Vedic corpus, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda and Atharvaveda is the letter composition. So from here we will start studying Vedic time period, and the time frame which we will discuss is from 1500 BCE to 1000 BCE is the period of early Vedic time period, whereas from 1000 to 500 BCE we read about later Vedic time period. And there are, and why do we differentiate this time period in these two broader categories? Because of the text that we get from this time period. So in early Vedic time period, majorly three Vedas we get from here. 1500 BCE to 1000 BCE, Rigved, Yajurved and Samved, three major Vedas we get from here this time period. However, these text has been explained in this, and there are 6 Aranyaks, Brahmans, Upanishads. So now people started explaining the philosophies in this Vedic time period, and based on those explanation of these philosophies, a new set of text has been developed in this time period that we call Upanishads, Purans, Aranyaks, Brahmans. These are the explanation of the Rigvedic phase time period. That is why this is called later Vedic time period. So we will study 1000 years. First we will discuss about all the sources that we get from this time period. यहां तक का डेवलपमेंट आप लोगों को समझ में आया? एनी डाउट, एनीथिंग, कोई क्वेश्चन? Majorly you will get a question definitely from Indus Valley civilization, either in UPSC or in any other examination, but you are going to get a definite question from Vedic time period. Text, their structure, what are the subjects, who are the composers, this kind of situation, match the following, choose the followings. ऐसे करके आपको कुछ क्वेश्चंस डेफिनेटली इस टाइम पीरियड के सोर्स से मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे. ठीक है, तो इसको आप फ्रेश माइंड से पढ़ना चाहते हैं, अभी पढ़ेंगे या कल पढ़ेंगे? कल. चलिए, विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम ऋग्वैदिक टाइम पीरियड फ्रॉम टुमारो ऑनवर्ड्स. थोड़ा फास्ट जाएंगे कल से. To give you a heads up, next Monday we'll take a test, objective as well as subjective. We will have 50 questions for 50 minutes, objective, 2 questions as a subjective. बता दिया, गायब मत हो जाइएगा अगली क्लास में, नहीं तो आपको घर से बुला के लाया जाएगा. सब लोगों का एड्रेस यहाँ पे है, सब लोगों को घर से पकड़ पकड़ के लाया जाएगा. नेक्स्ट मंडे, 1 वीक समय दे रहा हूं. ठीक है कि कल लूं? ठीक है, नेक्स्ट मंडे विल टेक अ टेस्ट.